How do you avoid having a cracked swimming pool shell? This is like the holy grail of problems that you definitely don't want with your swimming pool. So what can you do to avoid this? And from the pool's finished and sitting there and you're looking at it and you want to know like interacting with this pool or maintenance and care, what should I do? There's really nothing you can do at this stage. Like, maybe if there's one thing that you could do, it would be to make sure that you control surface water and control water in the pool. And the way that would do that would be with flexible urethane caulking or urethane joints. And that's supposed to not allow water where it's not supposed to be. Like in theory, all of the concrete and the landscaping of your yard should be draining away from the pool and should be locating the water to a safe area and not allowing it into a place where it's not supposed to be. For example, directly behind your swimming pool walls. That would be a really bad place for it to be. Further to that, there's another, surface level thing that can result in cracking of your pool shell. And this actually happens a lot. I didn't even think of this when I started this video, but this might even be the main point here. So it's crazy how much concrete can expand and contract with temperature differentials. And if it's really really cold in the winter and really really hot in the summer, you can end up with like 100 degrees Fahrenheit temperature differential. And concrete under those conditions, 100 linear feet of concrete will expand and contract by about 5/8 of an inch, maybe even a little more than 5/8 of an inch. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot of expansion room. And if you know anything about water freezing into ice, this process, when it expands, these expansion forces, they're strong and they'll break everything. And concrete's kind of the same way here. So when you have this temperature differential and your concrete pool deck swells, right? Because it's perfectly situated to absorb all the sun rays and expand horizontally. It's probably pushing up against your house, or it could be pushing up against your house or other permanent structures, and then it pushes towards the pool. There is always supposed to be an ability to protect the swimming pool from the horizontal expansion forces of the pool deck. The pool being in the ground with vertical walls underground can't move in the same way that the surface can. And this is why pool coping exists. That's what this originally is. Like, pool coping is when you're standing at the edge of the pool with like your toes dangling over the edge of the pool. You're standing on the pool coping. You're standing on top of the pool wall. The coping is the finished decorative detail to the top of the vertical pool wall, and you have to protect it with an expansion joint from the rest of the pool deck, normally a 1/2 inch gap that connects from top to bottom, so there's no contact at all with the pool shell and the pool deck. Use backer rod to stuff that gap, a closed cell foam, and then you would use a flexible urethane caulking over top of that. Now the pool deck can expand and contract horizontally without putting undue pressure on the pool walls. That's what we're trying to avoid here, because otherwise you could end up with deck shear. Deck shear is not good. It's a crack in your pool shell from these expansion forces. It's a horizontal crack that runs like along pool walls, a couple inches to a couple of feet down from the top of the pool wall, be a long straight crack. And that's not a good thing. And that will almost certainly be as a result of the expansion forces of a pool deck, and that little thing, just that maintenance gap or that maintenance point of keeping that urethane bead in serviceable condition and not allowing it to fail and get filled with sand and other stuff like that, that isn't going to be able to, take that force from the deck expanding. It'll just transfer that force onto your pool shell, and boy, you don't want to do that. So that's something that you could do to make sure that you don't crack your pool shell, is you could be sure to maintain all those urethane gaps. Every spot that you transition plane with a hard surface like concrete, or you transition elements from like tile to concrete or to stone, these kinds of things. Usually you transition with something flexible to account for the dissimilar rates of expansion and contraction between dissimilar materials. And so it's kind of the same thing here. Just all of those urethane beads that you see everywhere, they're doing really important stuff. So you're going to maintain those from this day forward. Okay, well, now we can get into the meat and potatoes of this discussion here and talk about how you stop your pool shell from cracking. It almost all starts in the design stage. Like this is the point at which you're bringing in people to have the pool built. Is one of those people a structural engineer? Not every swimming pool has an engineer involved in the installation project. And I don't know what the numbers on for how many are or aren't, but I've worked in some areas where it's basically required. It might even be actually required by law that all of these pools need engineering. Somebody's stamp needs to be on this. There needs to be inspections. There needs to be papers that, drawings, all this stuff. In other areas, you just show up with digging equipment and excavators and bobcats and dump trucks and just start building a pool. If you want your pool shell to not crack, and if it's a vinyl pool, I'm less worried about it. If it's a fiberglass pool, boy, you really want some good installers. But with a concrete pool, this is engineering. Is the pool going to crack? I don't know. What are the engineering specifications? How thick is the concrete? Is there a bond beam? What's the steel size? What's the reinforcing grid like? Questions like this are critical to being able to have any degree of confidence that your pool shell is not going to crack. To this day, I have a consulting service. If you're having a new pool built, you can hire me and we'll talk about it and figure a bunch of stuff out together and help you along your process here, whether you're building it yourself or you're hiring somebody to build it. I've got information that can help you do that. And to this day, I'm really surprised by the number of people who come to me like, hey, here's the plans that my builders, told me they're going to be following. Because I always tell people to dig for technical specifications. Like when you get an estimate, seldom is there enough information included. Like I want to know all kinds of stuff that they normally don't include. And so some of the information is like specifics on the concrete. What's the compressive strength of the concrete? What size rebar are you using? What is the spacing grid of that rebar? There's a bunch of stuff that you're going to want to know. And when I get them back, I'm like, I don't like those numbers. Like, I'm not an engineer. I deal with a lot of stuff like pool engineering, but I'm not an engineer. But I've seen enough pools built, and I've built enough myself to know, this is normal. This is what we expect to see. And sometimes people come back to me with these plans, and I'm pretty confident that the person trying to build this pool has never built a concrete pool before. And it's still happening to this day. Like, I thought we were done with all of that, but nope. Pool installation remains a cowboy industry to this day. You can get some Yahoo with a hat that says pool builder, and he'll cash your checks and start digging holes. But these things are under-engineered, in my opinion, because a pool much stronger than what they're specifying can crack. I've seen it happen in bad circumstances, and that's this discussion that we're having here today. If you're underbuilding it from the word go, like, I cannot think of a different, like, of all the things I want to overbuild, the shell for your swimming pool, the biggest luxury that you're ever going to spend money on in your life, is all predicated on this one part of it that's basically gotta last forever, because you can't really fix it. You certainly don't want to have to try, and you cut the corners on that. Like, maybe not cut the corners. I don't want to be like rude to people who have been building it that way for years, but like, holy cow, if we could dig deep and like get rid of one of these fountains and let's make this concrete a little bit stronger. Let's make it thicker. Let's get an engineer involved in the project here who can put a stamp on this, and that's going to give you a very high likelihood of this pool shell lasting forever, because ultimately that is what you want. Once engineers are involved in the installation here, it takes all of the guesswork out of the project, and you can know that your pool is being built suitable to your area, because this is complicated. If it was just simply make it 12 inches thick with a double mat rebar grid, 8 inches on center, 4 inches apart, like 10 millimeter with a bond beam, that's 4 15 millimeter horizontal bars with 10 millimeter rebar ties every 12 inches spaced around the top. There you go. I just gave you everything you need. So the problem is that what is an engineered pool in one area might be really overkill in another, or inadequate if it's an extreme or unique situation for a pool installation. So that's why engineers exist. And I'm certainly not, YouTube in general, and certainly Swimming Pool Steve is not a replacement for hiring an engineer. I'm just giving you an example of like what engineering can look like, and why it's so important that you bring in an engineer when you're building a concrete pool. This is your one shot. You got one shot at this. Don't do it wrong. And like, go get some prices. I bet you it's not as much money as you think. And wouldn't you feel better to have an engineer show up, do a site inspection, look around, maybe even a soil report, make sure that the area you're building this pool, the substrate ground that it's on, is going to be strong enough, is going to be, something that's going to have some longevity to it here, because starting from the ground up, like if there's a problem right from the ground up and you're building on that, I mean, nothing from the stage forward would be successful. And so this is such an integral person to bring in during the design stage. And really the only true way that you're going to be able to alleviate yourself of any guilt or sleepless nights associated with, like, is this pool going to crack? I do not want this pool to crack. It's like, then why are you rolling the dice on it? Bottom line, if you bring in the engineer and they do their stuff and they put their stamp on it and you build the pool and it cracks, maybe there's like an insurance claim that can be made here because you followed the engineer's specifications. It's why they're a professional. They've put their stamp on it saying it's not going to fail, and it failed. So what happened there? I don't want to be a guy who's like, look, somebody's accountable for this or somebody's liable for this, but something went wrong. Something went wrong in the process. Either the engineering specs were wrong or the person who installed it didn't do so according to specifications, which can also happen. But this is something which is discoverable after the fact with x-rays and core samples and compressive concrete tests. And, you can figure this out after the fact. And if you've done your due diligence and you've hired the right professionals here, even if you did experience a crack in your pool, hopefully this is something which could be covered by insurance and get this dealt with, because there's not really any real true repair to a cracked concrete pool shell. Like, I mean, there's processes which you see, like steel staples that get installed, hydraulic cement, injectable, flexible urethanes, things like this. But ultimately, if there's enough force being applied to a pool to crack, that amount of force, if it's done applying that force, maybe you could patch her up. It'll never be as good or the same, but you could patch it up. But if that force applies again due to ground movement or dissimilar materials that you built on, or poorly compacted materials, or ground eroding from, some water leakage, lots of stuff could happen here. Better to just have the insurance policy in place of hiring a professional engineer for your pool installation project. If we could talk about one more thing, like one more little point that I think is important if we're having this discussion on how to stop your pool shell from cracking is, are you having a waterproofing system installed on your concrete pool? Some concrete pools are built with concrete and then an interior surface detail like plaster and some tile around the top, nothing else. But concrete is a porous substance and plaster is just mortar. It's just sand and cement. And the tile itself uses grout and that's porous. So concrete pools aren't waterproof. They're highly water resistant at best. That means that a certain amount of that water from the pool is going to be able to leach through into this porous substrate, and it's going to potentially do things like expose your rebar within your concrete pool shell to chlorinated water, and that ain't a good thing. It's going to advance the corrosion of that. You can end up with real structural problems on your hand, and a thing you can do to prevent that from happening is insist on having a waterproofing system installed in your swimming pool. It's just kind of like an intermediary step between you built the shell. Before we put the interior surface on, we're going to do this application, and depending on the kind of pool and the style that you're having done, there's a host of different waterproofing applications available to you. You just have to know to want one and know to choose a builder that is inclined to use one of these, because really this is a good idea with a modernly built concrete swimming pool. Have a waterproofing layer, protect the important stuff like the steel within your concrete pool shell, and just in general prevent leaking, because concrete pools in general are inclined to have leak points, even if they're very, very small over long periods of time, which is the service life you expect from a concrete pool installation. You can end up having problems that could otherwise be avoided if you used a waterproofing system. We covered a lot of ground here with this subject of, cracked concrete pools and just how to avoid this in general. And I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.